Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome if you're new. My name is Nikki and this is Into Beauty. And today we're going to do a lovely look using all of my Project Pen I'm Getting Old products. So this is the look that I created. Just a simple, quick look. You don't have to do much. Just really easy. If you want to see all of the products in action, please keep on watching. My skin has been breaking out due to my medication, but overall it looks okay. My skin feels really soft, really smooth, it's really hydrated, and that's part of the issue because my skin is feeling really happy, but still my breakouts come true. And that's just because of the medication. I can't help that. It doesn't mean that I can't have beautiful skin, but right now I want some coverage. And I'm going to use my Hamish Artless Glow base with SPF 50. I already put down my regular SPF. This is just a primer step. But I do apply this one a bit more generously because of the SPF. And it has a beautiful glow. It doesn't really peel on top of my SPF or anything. So I can really pack it on. And I usually just focus on my forehead, my cheeks. Maybe a little bit on my chin. But most of the time I won't. Because this is just a glow and I get oily on my T-zone anyway. I'll have the extra glow all by myself. While this is drying, let's start with the eyes. We're going to do a really one and done simple eyeshadow look because my color pops have been really good. Some of them have dried out, and if you want to know more about that, I will link down below my update so you can see which ones are in or out. One of the shades that I'm wearing the most is this one from the Disney collection, Almost There. It's a beautiful taupey brown. I really love this one. I'm going to take a fluffy brush, pack it on and just swipe on the outer third. And these just perform beautifully. I first tried my very first Colourpop eyeshadow maybe 10 years ago. Just as when they were released, so I believe that's quite a while ago. And I still love them, even though people don't talk about them anymore. These were just so ahead of their time. And yes, they were really popular. But they still compare to every one and done eyeshadow right now. With my Revolution palette, I am going to take one of the bronzers with a bigger, fluffier brush. And I'm going to take the most neutral one. And I will use that as a transition. Like I said, I am going to do a really simple look. So I'm not grabbing other palettes to complete a look. I'm going to take the lighter shade, this one, to make an inner corner matte pop. I just love that look. It will look really sophisticated without any effort. And for this look I'm going to take my Delilah pencil in Twig, the brown color. And I'm just going to tight line and slightly make a small wing. Just for some extra definition. There wasn't any mascaras in my Project Pen, so I will be using that one in the end. But let's go to the face again. Foundations, and today I'm going to take the Makeup Forever one. It might be a little bit too dark, but I don't care. We'll make it work. So I'm pumping a bit on the back of my hand and I'm stippling it in with a brush. For most foundations, a brush is still my preferred method because I will get the most coverage out of a product without applying too much, and I can always shear it out on some parts afterwards. This isn't a high coverage foundation, so it won't cover all of my blemishes, but like I said, this is a more laid back look. So I don't mind. In terms of the color, yes, it's a bit too orange or yellow, however you would like to call it. But we will fix that with powder and with bronzer. When I bought this foundation, it wasn't the right shade, and I figured out when I was home because I bought it in Germany. And the shade I was using is 1 Neutral 14. Should be neutral. As you can see, it isn't. I have the Chic Glam bronzer. Well, a bronzer I would like to call it, because it's more contour bronzy than actual bronze. And I like to stipple this on like this. This is a very forgiving formula. You could take your time. And I'm going to take the same brush just to buff it out. And this is, like I said, a really forgiving formula because it's such a light coverage but really beautiful color. Yeah, they have good products, and the bronzer is one of them. So if you wanted to order something from Chic Glam, this is one of the products that I would recommend. Now we go to blush, and I have two. These are the Juicy Pink blushes from Appieu. I do really like them, but they are really, really, really sheer. For this look, I am going to do the more brownie tone. This one is Fake, I believe. It doesn't say, but I'm going to use this one because I have neutral eyes. And the peachy one will be a bit of a standout. Don't be scared of how much I am putting on, because yes, it is that sheer. Because greens like to have a blush that's really, really sheer. Again, with the same brush, we're taking it easy today. Just to show you, you don't have to have loads of brushes. See how sheer that is? It just leaves a hint of color. For concealer, we have the YSL Touche Éclat in the color 02. This is a product I have been loving for a long, long time, but it is a bit outdated because most people like a bit more coverage than this, and this doesn't offer much coverage. And with the small brush, like I always do, I am just blending this out. It is a beautiful brightening color, but yeah, it isn't as full coverage, and it can be creasing underneath the eyes. For setting the face, we're going to do the By Terry powder, and this one is in the colorless version, just the regular. And I'm using a puff for setting underneath the eye. And for the rest of my face, I'm going to use a brush to really buff it out. This powder has loads of kick up, so please be prepared for that. But overall the powder is quite nice. Really finely milled. Then we go to bronzer, and we're taking the palette back out, and I'm going to mix these two shades. And I'm slightly tapping it in, otherwise it can be pigmented. I really, really like this bronzer, just like the cream bronzer. Makeup Revolution does really well with bronzers, in my opinion. And they even have a more glowy version if you want a more glowy cheek. They will emphasize a bit of your texture, so please be aware it isn't as blurring as when you use some cream products. Some powder products can enhance your texture. And our blushes, I am going to take this one because I could use some color, but not much, a really, really small amount, because this is pigmented. And I'm going to use the same brush just on the other end, slightly tap it and just make it glow. And the reason for putting down some creams before the powders is longevity, because your makeup will wear off in layers. So if you have products on your face, they will wear off slightly by day or by sweat or anything, and your powders will go first, and after that the creams. Then we're going to go in with the Clarins Fix Makeup Spray. This one is okay. It isn't a fixing spray, it is a setting spray. But yeah, it's fine. Nothing much. And you do have to love rose scents because it is heavily scented. While my face dries, let's go to the lips. For my lips I'm going to use another Delilah pencil, and this one is in Buff. So a beautiful nude. And we're going to pair it with a lovely lip. I have quite a few options and I'm going for a regular lipstick today, and I'm going to use Ariel because this one is the perfect combination. This is more actual nude than the other one, so it will pull down a bit because it will match the look better. And lastly, we're going to add some glow powder. This is the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Powder, just to give this a lovely finish. Just to blur it all out. And this will leave a really gorgeous finish. So there you have it, a really quick and simple full face of the products that I'm using currently in my project pen. I'm getting old. If you want to see more looks, if you want to see more creative things that I can do with all of those products, please let me know. Maybe you can tell me what you have in your current project pen or your regular makeup bag, and I can recreate that look. That would be fun. So please let me know, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye!